Well, a bloody civil war has been raging in Ethiopia for a year now, leaving 9 in 10 people reportedly needing humanitarian aid. The United Nations Human Rights Council voted yesterday to launch an international rights investigation as previous attempts failed to halt the fighting between Tigray rebels and government forces.
The conflict has continued with ongoing fighting beyond the borders of Tigray. Our office continues to receive credible reports of severe human rights violations and abuses by all parties.
We're going to bring in now Ethiopia's former ambassador to the United Nations, Fiseha Askadom. Sir, thank you for joining us. And Ethiopia TV reporting breaking news this morning at 5:45 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 1:45 p.m. in Ethiopia, that says several towns have been liberated from TPLF terrorist group occupation. Can you expound on this? Is this true?
Thank you for having me. That's not true. The Ethiopian government continues to mislead its own citizens and the international community. What has happened is the Tigray Defense Forces have repositioned themselves in areas they think is advantageous for them. There was no single fighting. There was no retreat. This is just simply a propaganda that the government of Addis Ababa wants to mislead the Ethiopian people.
Now, I may come back to that, but let me get to this. Just yesterday, the UN Human Rights Council tweeted in part that the council voted to establish an international commission to investigate allegations of human rights violations and abuses by all parties to the conflict. So if you could tell us more about the kind of human rights violations that's taking place in Ethiopia.
To begin with, we welcome the decision of the UN Council on Human Rights, long overdue. We have been asking for it. For 14 months now, we believe genocide has been committed in Tigray, a population of under 7 million, by the government of Addis Ababa, Asmara, Mogadishu, militias from a neighboring state. And therefore, we have been asking that there has to be an independent international investigation. And the Abiy government has been objecting to it. They did everything to stop this. We welcome it. We look forward for the thorough investigation. The crimes continue to be committed in Tigray. And if there are any allegations against our forces, we will be holding them responsible, and we are ready to cooperate with the international community.
Now, to be clear, you say that you represent and speak for the regional state government of Tigray, and the Tigrayan people, they seem to be suffering most. Some 400,000 people in Tigray living in famine-like conditions. Also, at least 2 million people across Tigray, Amhara and Afar regions have been displaced because of this conflict. So I'm going to ask you again, who is carrying out these human rights violations and why are they doing it?
First of all, for over 14 months, as I said, for a year, until they were militarily ejected from many parts of Tigray, the forces that created havoc and committed these heinous crimes against the people of Tigray that we think will be clear in the near future when the investigation done. It has been recorded by international media. The forces are the Eritrean government's army, the Ethiopian army, the forces from the neighboring state of Amhara, and including forces from Mogadishu that were being trained in Asmara. They are creating this havoc. Tigray, a region, as I told you, under 7 million people, is a complete under siege. There is no humanitarian aid coming. There is no telephone. There is no banking system. It is in the dark. And this is the government of Ethiopia coordinating against this minority.
Now, the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy's administration says these heinous crimes are committed by TPLF. Why would the Prime Minister of Ethiopia commit crimes against his own people?
That is what the whole world has been asking. Because the Prime Minister wants to be a king. His mother told him he's going to be the next king of Ethiopia. The regional government of Tigray refused. to abduct the constitution instead of sitting and sorting out politically. He declared war against the people of Tigray because we have a regional election last September. And he said he will not tolerate that. He invited a foreign dictator, the dictator of Eritrea, and he brought the Eritrean army, the Ethiopian army, and these crimes were not only reported by us. The international media was briefly allowed to enter Tigray, and they continue to report the crimes that are being committed. Why? Because like all dictators, he wants us to bring about under his rule, and the Tigrayan people are resisting. We believe he has committed a crime.
I beg your pardon. So you said that you mentioned Eritrea and the people of Tigray historically have been, enemies. So you're saying that you're claiming the government used one group against the other. Listen, this civil war.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The Eritrean and the Tigrayan people are actually they are neighbors. They have similar culture. Spiritually, they are the same believers of two major phases in Islam and Christian. It is a dictator that has grudges against the Ethiopian government because we went to war in 1998, and he believes at that time the Tigrayan leadership was responsible for his defeat. The people are not enemies at each other. No people in Ethiopia at people level are enemies. These are the governments that are orchestrating this hate against the Tigrayan people and waging a criminal, a genocidal war against them.
I have a hard break coming up. I did have the Prime Minister's press secretary on 2 weeks ago who disagreed with what you said, but now I'm getting your side. Lastly here, and I've got 30 seconds for you, this civil war heated up November 3rd, 2020. How did this crisis escalate so quickly, and how much time is there to stop the decay to prevent a complete collapse of Ethiopia?
We are at a very precarious stage because they thought they can completely silence this minority in northern part of the country, and the people fought back. We have always said from day one, we have informed the international community publicly, we are ready to sit down and talk at any time, even when we have the upper hand in military. We believe in that. Okay. But we are under siege. Until this siege is lifted, the people of Tigray will continue to fight.
We wish the best for everyone in Ethiopia, so we hope this is resolved soon. Thank you, Ambassador, for joining us. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.